Sick and tired of all the fraud being uncovered in the country yet? Hell yeah. Welcome back, G.F.U YouTubers. Glad to see you here. Well, we got more fraud being uncovered and coming out of another state. Typically, it would not concern me, except that federal tax dollars were stolen along with state and local tax dollars, so that makes it my business. This time the fraud's been uncovered in the state of California. No surprise there. It does include federal tax dollars. That's why we're going to talk about it today. But first, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Helps the algorithm grow, helps this channel grow. So please hit that like, subscribe, and share button, and then we'll get into it. We got some facts, some names, and dollar amounts, and then a video we can take a look at. All right, let's look at the facts here. Recent California homeless fraud cases involve major accusations against LA developers like Cody Homes, accused of siphoning millions from the state's Home Key program for luxury purchases using fake financial records, Stephen Taylor, charged with inflating property values for loans related to homeless projects, highlighting the misuse of billions in funds intended for housing, and another case saw a San Diego employee steal checks meant for unhoused individuals. Okay, let's get into specifics. Cody Holmes of Shangri-La Industries, arrested for mail fraud, accused of using nearly $26 million in home key funds meant for Thousand Oaks homeless housing to pay for luxury goods and services after submitting fake bank statements to the state. Stephen Taylor, indicted separately for allegedly defrauding lenders and inflating property values for home key developers, accused of stealing over $50 million with homes across both schemes. And Charisse Elaine Alexander out of San Diego, a former homeless center employee who pleaded guilty to stealing over $70,000 in government checks intended for unhoused individuals. Now, the Home Key program was a California initiative using grants to convert properties into homeless housing, facing scrutiny for potential fraud and mismanagement. This fraud included federal taxpayer dollars to go along with the federal tax dollars that were defrauded from the American public, coming out of Minneapolis and Ohio with the Somalis. So that means every hardworking American that pays a federal income tax got robbed again. You getting angry yet? I sure am. Let's take a look at this news report right here.
$2.3 billion sent to LA County over 4 years is completely unaccounted for. That's $2.3 billion that could have been used to clean up this, or find housing for people who live like this, or to fix this part of Venice Beach, where people own million-dollar homes but are too afraid to walk their dogs because of this. There have already been 2 indictments linked to his probe, but U.S. Attorney Bill Assaley says there are a lot more to come. I spoke with him earlier. Bill, how long has this kind of fraud been going on? I mean, the homeless issue in Southern California is a massive issue. Taxpayers have forked over tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars to fix it, and people are stealing it?
That's right, stealing it.
It's unbelievable, and you know, it's probably been going on for a very long time, but unfortunately no one's really looked at it until recently. Before this position, I was in the state.
Why is that? Nobody's really looked at it. Where's the oversight? You know? I just don't get it.
Legislature, and we would ask a lot of questions about the billions of dollars being spent every year to solve homelessness, and we can all see with our eyes and ears that it wasn't being solved, and the money wasn't going to the people who needed it most. So one of the first things I did after being appointed as the U.S. Attorney here in LA was to create the Homeless Fraud and Corruption Task Force, and frankly we were starting from the bottom up, and we began brand new investigations with the IRS and the FBI, and it's already culminated in 2 separate indictments, and I can assure you that more will come.
Look at that garbage. What if that was your community? Good grief.
In the 2 indictments you've announced thus far, in one case, somebody was taking this money that was meant to build homes for the homeless and spending it on things like tickets to Coachella concert, jewelry, and a Beverly Hills mansion.
So much for providing housing for the homeless, stole the money and bought themselves a Beverly Hills mansion. Fucking fags.
Oh, those guys
It's
are
frankly
back!
outrageous, and this goes to show when you hand out billions of dollars with little to no oversight, there are people out there that will take advantage, and that's always been our suspicion, is that there's been very little oversight or accountability to the individuals who receive this money. Most of the money goes out to nonprofits or developers who claim they're going to use the money to build housing, and what we saw in these two investigations, that's not where the money went, and it was used to pay one individual's American Express bill.
So how much?
Pay off my credit card with stolen money from the taxpayers. Beautiful.
I mean, we're talking a massive amount of money that's been set aside to help the homeless. What percent do you think might be stolen?
We don't have that number yet. What I can tell you is just in these two cases represent over a $50 million loss. And that's, again, scratching the surface. We have many more investigations open that I cannot get into, but we are going to follow the money. We're going to follow every dollar, and we want to make sure the money went to its intended objective, which is to assist the homeless. And if any of it...
Well, it's apparent that the money didn't go to its intended objective, isn't it?
was diverted for personal use or other use that wasn't authorized, we intend to criminally prosecute those individuals. And like I said, we have multiple ongoing investigations. We have the IRS conducting the financial review. We have the FBI going out and conducting interviews. We're issuing subpoenas. We're doing search warrants. There is a lot happening that the public cannot see right now.
How did this go unnoticed for so long?
Well, to be frank, this is a problem we saw in the legislature. When you have a state like California that frankly enjoys a supermajority controlled by one political party, there's very little checks and balances in the system to hold that accountability. So when they're passing the budgets and they're dispensing billions of dollars, it does sound good and it feels good to spend $24 billion in the case of California to solve homelessness. And it was almost like that was the end of the story for the legislators and the governor. And a lot of the money was dispensed to nonprofits that have very strong political ties. And there's really, again, never been any oversight. But
nonprofits that have strong political ties. Well, if you know anything about California, it's a Democrat-run state. So there you go.
now you have the federal government. The election was won by the opposite party, and you have an election that has consequences. And now you have prosecutors in the federal government that are independent and are going to take an objective look. And I frankly do not care who is involved, what position they serve, or how high up they are. We will aggressively pursue and prosecute anyone that violates federal law regarding the misuse of homelessness funds.
So when you have a Democratic president in the White House and a Democratic administration, this stuff just goes overlooked. They hand out money to these so-called nonprofit organizations, and then the money just gets stolen. And there's nothing said about it, no investigations into it. They know what's going on, but they don't give a damn. Are you angry yet? If so, good. If you're not angry yet, you should be getting angry. Yeah, hardworking American citizens paying into the system and not really getting any benefit from our tax dollars. And we get a ringside seat to sit by and watch those tax dollars go to fund useless programs that hardworking Americans don't benefit from. Billions of dollars sent to third world shithole countries to hopefully help them remain third world shithole countries. It's just a waste of our money. We should have a say on what our tax dollars get spent on. They're going to collect them. We should have a say on what gets done with them. We need to use our vote, use our voices to be heard, and try and effect a change to get our government to spend our tax dollars on something that actually benefits this country and the hardworking citizens of this country before our way of life and America is just gone. And one way we can do that is to hit that like, subscribe, and share button below and spread the word. Let's keep the word going. Check out the in-video leaks at the end here, and until next time.